You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to The Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday 10th show. I bring into studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market on everything regarding your money. I'm here to help you in today's economy. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. You can call the show at 1-855-400-1150, 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com to discuss anything regarding money with the guests I have in studio or with myself, your host. Right now in studio, Sandi MacCalla with Etiquette for You. Sandi, thanks for joining me back in studio. And just like the other guests, I want to say happy holiday to you as well.
Thank you very much for having me back, and happy holidays to you.
And thank you, too, for the Power Hour Luncheon and Learn. You were my guest speaker. And I have to say my realtors really enjoyed the conversation of etiquette and really how that applies in real estate. And so thank you for that, Sandi.
Thank you.
A little bit about Sandi. Sandi MacCalla attained her Etiquette Certification in 1997 for Etiquette Institute in St. Louis, Missouri. She's an accomplished business person with 45 years in business and industry and is a seasoned speaker and trainer. Sandi has just appointed chapter president for the National Association of Professional Women in Everett to provide leadership and growth opportunities for women in business. While her core skills are corporate leadership and operation process improvement, her passion is to equip others with skills and resources to become high achievers in their chosen field. She brings practical, sustainable knowledge to life skills, strengthens others to grow and embrace success. So, Sandi, we're talking today little spin with the holidays, joy-filled holiday season. And there's a lot more to activities and distractions this year, this time of year. And what should we be thinking about to make our holidays special when it comes to etiquette?
Well, I feel that you do need to concentrate on joy and make that the central theme of your holiday. And there's some key things that you can do to really make that the most. Key things, just the key things, I think, to start off simply are do deep breathing during this time. We're going to wind up being in lines. You're going to wind up being frustrated and in traffic. So take the time to do some deep breathing and relax and bring calm into your life.
I love that, Sandi. I do that all the time. It's just a matter of...
Exactly.
And then you feel so much better.
You feel so much better, and you can approach everything a little with a clearer mind and with less anxiety and angst in the situation. And if you want to experience joy, I just find like in many other different arenas of life, you need to bring joy to others on a daily basis. You need to create joy in their life. And then create some special time for yourself. And some of these key activities, if you want to experience joy with others, make eye contact, make a positive observation of the other person while you're with them. This can be a very sensitive time for others, so give them plenty of room and give yourself plenty of room and be gracious with people at this time. Share really sincere and specific good wishes. I think this is one of the most exciting things about this season is that I hear more people wishing good things for other people and sharing that with them.
Yes.
So this is a time to be really paying attention to what people are saying, who they are, and being very specific about what you wish to, for them. And creating your own special time, if whatever that is, spa treatment, dinner out, activities with friends, getting out in nature, whatever gives you a sense of calm and restoration and bring that joy back into your life during this time.
And, you know, that's such a good point, Sandi. And what I've heard you say here, it's really a balance of being good and taking care of others, as well as of the other side of it, of taking care of yourself and being good to yourself. And with that that balance, it's going to bring better for you and better for others around you. And yes, it is a special time of year. We're grateful for everything that we have, but really being alert and paying attention to people that are dealing with some challenges over this time, because it can add that when you've got some challenging things happening in your life. So great advice. Sandi, are there certain etiquette tips that you can bring to my listeners and to myself that we may have forgotten that we want to have during the holiday season?
Yes, there are some just key ones to remember or to employ. this time of year, families get together. There's usually some dining opportunities to get together, and I hear from many people that can be a strenuous time. That can be a time of people not agreeing or wanting to pick up the fight from the last
but it depends if you're breathing, and you can give it that 60-second breath. Maybe you'll react a little bit differently.
That's correct.
Prevent those things from happening, right?
That's correct. And then there's some other tips along that line to avoid disagreements. One of the things that I use that I have learned, and it's very effective, is that when someone has a different opinion than yourself and they're trying to get you to come to their side or vice versa, or convince you that they're right, then I just say to people, you may be right. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that you are right, but you may be right. And at the end of it, I may not have to come back and say, you were right. So by saying that early in the game, it takes a lot of that edge off of the discussion. Also, when I want to make sure that I've gotten a chance to put my perspective out there as well, I do what I call a diversion introduction, where I acknowledge someone else in the family who may have a different perspective, and I put that out right up front. I say, I know that Uncle Harry has looked at this differently than I have. Mm-hmm. He has some different perspectives. I want to hear his, and in the meantime, this is how I perceive the situation. So I get a chance to say what my thoughts are, and at the same time, the natural transition is to go to Harry next and let Harry express what he's thinking.
That rich uncle, you never know what he's going to leave you.
That's right. So the key thing is that people do want to be heard. We all want to be heard, what our opinions are, what we bring to the table. Mm-hmm. And so we just need to have that airtime with each other.
Yeah.
If during that dining time, though, if there is a prayer that's offered, I just suggest that people respect the host or hostess and their faith by bowing in prayer and honoring that time with them. Other tips are to always wait to start the meal when the hostess first takes up their fork, except if the hostess encourages everyone to begin. The hostess may be still wrangling with some things with the meal and the dinner, and will say, please get started, because they don't want the meal to get cold. If you're in doubt during any portion of the meal, just observe and follow the hostess's lead. Mm-hmm. That will always have you in sync.
And I like to, hearing that, because there's always could be questions, and you can't fail by following the host's lead.
That's right. Mm-hmm. You're right in sync at that point, and you don't look like you're out of sync with the dinner. Now, if you're the one who's hosting the holiday party, I do suggest having a greeter at the door to welcome guests, take their coats, show them where the coats are going to be, show them where the bathrooms are, where the food is going to be, offer refreshments, pour that first drink, the first drink of punch, of wine, whatever you have at that time. And then if you know that they don't know some people that are at the same time, then introduce them to the other people that are there and share some of the similarities that you know about them that they might share with each other, and they can begin a conversation and begin to interact with each other at the same time. Now, if you're the guest and have received an invitation to a holiday party, it's really important to RSVP. Let your host or hostess know whether or not you intend to be there. They are planning to have a great event for you and the people that they want to share this with, and they want to know whether or not you will be there with them.
Yes.
A gift is always appropriate to thank the host, and if you've brought wine, in that particular case, don't expect the host to serve it at that time. That's your gift to them, and they get to decide how they're going to use it.
Of course.
Okay. Holiday cards are also a very key part of this time, and I do suggest that you sign your full name. Unless you are Aunt Susan or Uncle Harry, there may be other people with the same name that and you get the card and you think, well, who is this? Who is this that has sent me this card? So always put your full name in there.
And no business cards.
And no business cards. Exactly. And then also I like to remind people about the 2-year rule regarding sending holiday cards. If someone that you have sent a card to fails to send you a card that year, don't just write them off your list. Give them another year to possibly catch up with you by they'll send you a card the next year because they got one last year, and then that way you can keep them on the list. If they don't send you one the second year, then maybe they come off your list at that point, unless you specifically want them to be on that list. And then finally, because of gifts, whether personal or business, it's really important to do a handwritten thank you note. It's always appropriate to acknowledge the receipt of a gift from somebody, even if you don't like it. If you don't like it, then just focus in on their thoughtfulness and their giving nature and comment on that in your handwritten note. Or the good qualities of the gift. Maybe it's a color you really like, or maybe it's something you've been looking at, whether or not you were going to buy it, but something you've been looking at for some time and thinking about whether or not you would like to have that. But mostly be truthful and be positive in your response to them. I like to send the thank you gift within 2 weeks of receiving the gift, but the sooner I send it after I've received it, the better I will recall what my reaction was to the gift and can share that with them so that they want to hear that you really appreciated it, that it was something that they gave you that is special to you.
Makes sense. So we have a lot of business professionals right here in studio. We all are, and we have a lot to listen to the show as well. Regarding thank you notes, what other tips apply with business for the holidays?
Well, this is a great time for office parties, and I know that people sometimes feel like, oh my goodness, I see these people at work all the time. Do I really want to spend part of my weekend or evening time with them? I really recommend that you attend, even if you're only there for 45 minutes to 60 minutes, and you do a really quality round of touching base with people that are friends or people that you want to absolutely touch base with at that meeting, at that event. If you don't show up, then it looks like you're not part of the team. You're not part of the organization. You're not supporting. Your camaraderie is not there for others. And so I do recommend that you spend a short period of time. Now, if it's better to leave after a short period of time than to stay, be bored, and drink yourself through the whole evening.
Or look like you're not having a good time.
Or look like you're not having a good time. Exactly. Also, there's gifts. There's holiday gifts that people give to each other. So when the company is doing that, it's better for the gifts to come from the company versus individual managers or supervisors. So it doesn't look like there's favoritism going on. And usually those gifts, if they're from the company, it's better if they're uniform in that there's nothing about inequality where someone's gotten a better gift that somebody else has. So people don't get into that comparative situation and feel like they're either being someone's being favored or that they're being unfavored in that situation. The safest gifting within a company is Secret Santa or White Elephant Exchange. Those are always fun, they're lighthearted, and everybody has a good time. Also, with holiday greeting cards, I really do recommend that you try not to look like a corporation. You want it to be a warm contact with your client, and you want it to be something that will strengthen your business relationship, not advertise your business, but strengthen that relationship and thank them for the time that they have interacted with your organization. I also recommend that you have all the staff members who are going to be involved, whether it's customer care, whether it's accounting, whether it's someone out in the shipping department, have them sign those cards because they are people who are interacting with the clients as well. Even if the clients don't see them or interact with them directly, they are there to support the company's efforts in that situation. And there's some possibility that if you feel that you don't want to get into the rush of Christmas cards that everybody else is doing, you could send your cards out for a New Year's greeting instead.
Yeah.
And that differentiates you from the other people that are...
I love that idea. I think it's always great, too, to do a team photo, have the team in there and show the appreciation and who's behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Makes the team feel special, and it also makes the client... it's nice to get that and see everybody that's involved. Sandi, thank you so much for the holiday etiquette tips and for joining me back in studio, and look forward to having you back as well.
Thank you very much. I'd be delighted to come back.
This is your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, signing off for the day. I've said happy holiday to all my guests. I want to extend a happy holiday to all of you, my listeners. I will be here same time, same place next Saturday right here on 1150 AM KKNW.